Yesterday we learnt about types of sentences. We saw that we have assertive or declarative sentences, imperative sentences, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and then I also taught you how to make negative sentences out of these four types of sentences. Well, jumping on to today's topic, today we are dealing with verbs and auxiliary verbs. Well, you already have a fair good idea about verbs and auxiliary verb. This video is just meant to support you, to revise you, to refresh your memory and to boost you up for the upcoming classes. So, what is a verb? If I ask or if I say, I know there would be hundreds of hands coming up and saying that verb is any action that the subject does. Yes, and you are technically right as well. In fact, that is verb. So, if you see a normal sentence structure, it goes something like this: subject plus verb plus object. We all in our grammar classes by our teachers have been taught this syntax. This is called syntax. Syntax means the way you frame a sentence. So this is a very common syntax for the structure of a sentence. There has to be a subject, which or who does an action, that is verb, and that action is being implied upon or is being carried upon an object. Fine. So this is the general structure. Well, other structures or syntaxes may be just subject and the verb or the verb and the object, whatsoever it might be. But one thing is sure, that verb action has definitely need to be there. There definitely will pertain a verb which will be the action that the subject does. Subject in Hindi grammar we call it karta. Okay, जो करता है, right? Someone who does an action or who gives rise to an action. So this is the general syntax. You may just note it down. It's easy, you know it already. So now coming to verb, looking at the definition of verb, as you very clearly mentioned it, that verb is nothing else but it's just an action. So let me brief you about some of the actions that take place. So verb is an action word. Any action. Whatever sentence you see, the subject is doing something. Okay? It gives you an idea of doing something. Even though sometimes it might look that nothing is happening, but then something is definitely happening. So that doing is your verb, an action word or a doing something kind of thing. Let me just introduce you to few of the verbs, and then we'll see how the forms of verb change according to tense and according to its usage. That will be a new lesson, a new video that I will be shooting. But for the time being, a verb is an action word doing something. For example, if I say eat, it requires some action. Now, what is an action basically? We have to understand before that what is an action. Well, an action is something that requires your physical activity, or an action is something which requires your mental activity. So, anything that you do, you may keep noting this down in your notebooks. So, anything that you do which requires some or the other physical activity by you, or it requires some or the other mental activity by you, it becomes a verb. Okay? So, either physical activity or mental activity or both, physical plus mental. It becomes your verb, it becomes your action. So, now it would be very clear for you to understand what an action is. So let me just rub it. I hope you have already taken a note of this. Yes. Now coming to a verb. Few of the verbs I shall be listing for you. You can note it down, otherwise you also know. Eat. As I wrote earlier, eat. It requires some physical activity. some or the other part of the body must be involved. So while eating, what physical activity is being involved? Which body part is being used? So well, it's your hands, it's your mouth, it's your teeth, alright? Some of the other thing is happening. Okay? So eat becomes your verb. Likewise, run. Now is run an action? Of course. It requires, what does it require? An action of your legs, physical activity. Now if I say sleep, of course, or even if I say think again, it requires some action that is being involved, that is being carried on by your brain. It involves your brain, mental activity as I said. So it becomes your action. Now some might say that sleep, it requires neither the physical activity nor the mental activity. How is this an action? Well, scientifically, sleep is something which requires both your physical activity and mental activity. See, doing nothing also is an activity. You understand that? For example, if you are just standing quietly, that also is an activity. So sleep in that case becomes your verb. Fine. And think also again, like you are using your mental capabilities. So think again becomes your verb. Like that swim, तैरना, or dance, or sing, or even sit. Sit also is a physical activity. Stand is a physical activity. Okay, and likewise there could be so many other activities which could be seen, and they are action words, and then hence they become your verbs. Okay, so I have just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have just written 9 verbs of them. Well, drink, if you are drinking water. So there are a whole lot of actions that you see. Watch, to see something. Okay, write, or stamp. Not that dark ticket. Stamp means when you actually put your foot on somebody's foot, that is known as stamping. Okay, when you put your feet on somebody else's feet, that is known as stamping. So stamp again is your verb. So the list could be endless. I can keep on writing for hours together, and then you will have so many verbs. So now you already have seen what verbs are. You already have got the idea. You already knew by the way, but then just you got yourself brushed up. Now we come to auxiliary verbs. I think you already have taken an example of it. Now, auxiliary verbs are important. That's why I wanted to touch upon the idea. Now, what are auxiliary verbs? Well, auxiliary verbs are sometimes also referred as helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are sometimes also referred as helping verbs. Well, we won't call it helping verb because we are grown-up kids now, 9th standard and above. So, we shall be calling it auxiliary verbs. Now, what are auxiliary verbs? Now, auxiliary verb basically is an action, is a verb which does not do any action of its own. Okay? But then it helps the verb, the main verb, to do an action. Okay, I'll just write the definition. So, it does not do any action, rather, you can note this down, helps the main verb to perform an action. That's not the exact definition, but just for your understanding, so you should know, because definitions won't be a part of the examination. Just for your understanding, try to understand what an auxiliary verb would be all about. So it does not do any action, rather it helps the main verb to perform an action. Okay, let us see this with the help of examples now. I had already given you yesterday while I was dealing with interrogative sentences that there are some other helping verbs, that questions are not just formed out of the interrogative words, questions are also formed out of the helping verb. And I gave an example. So I will first of all write down a list of few of the auxiliary verbs, then by means of example we shall see. All the forms of be, that is, am, are, was, were, being, be, all the forms of be, they are your auxiliary verbs. Then can, could, shall and should. You can keep noting it. Will and would. May and might. Ought, dare. Likewise, all the forms of do, that is, do, does, did, done, all those forms. Okay, and likewise has, have, had, all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Exactly the count has come up to 24 because there are 24 helping verbs. So these are the 24 helping verbs or the auxiliary verbs which help the main verb to perform an action, to perform an activity. Have a note of this, and now we shall see a few of them, not all, a few of them with the help of examples. I'm erasing this as well because we need some examples, so we need space. Yeah. Let me take a very simple sentence. If I say, I am going to school. I am going to school. Well, I is the subject very clearly. Going, of course, is the verb jana. It involves some action, and we can treat your school as object. The subject, verb, object syntax, the SVO syntax is complete. But then if you just try to hide this, am I going to school, the sentence looks pretty incomplete. Okay, it does not evolve or evoke any sense. Hence, the word or the helping verb or the auxiliary verb am is actually making or helping the main verb to do an activity. You understand it? So, I am going to school, and this becomes your auxiliary verb. Fine? It in itself is not doing anything, but then it is helping. As I said, it helps the main verb to perform an activity. Likewise, they are cooking food. Let's say, so they is your subject, cooking, it involves activity, right? It is your verb, and food becomes your object. Again, like I said, if you remove this are, which again is an auxiliary verb, they cooking food, the sentence does not convey a proper meaning. The sentence seems so incomplete. Hence, to make sense or to help this verb do its action, perform its action, are, your auxiliary verb is required. Clear? They do not have pencil. Now, this is a very different kind of sentence which I have given you. Now, if you see, is there any action being taken place? in this sentence? Well, there is no action that is taking place. This is just an assertive sentence, right? But it involves two helping verbs for the sentence to complete. I purposely took this because if you see, if you remove do, if you remove have, and if you see the sentence, they not pencil, well, it does not make any sense. So they do not have pencil. Now in this case, these auxiliary verbs, in the absence of a main verb or anything, they are helping for the sentence to make a complete sense. So auxiliary verb, another function we have seen of auxiliary verb. First function, as we have already known, that it helps the main verb to perform its activity. Now the second function of the auxiliary verb that comes into existence is that they also help to make sense to the sentence in case the verb is missing. Now, without the auxiliary verb, the sentence will not make any kind of sense. So this is the second function of an auxiliary verb. Clear? You may take a note of these sentences and examples so that things are pretty clear with you. I am erasing it. Let us try some other auxiliary verb. I can jump out of window. Just imagine trying to see this sentence, removing can. I jump out of window does not make any sense. So can is the auxiliary verb over here. I is the subject. Jump again is your verb, and the window could be treated as an object. Okay. So without this, it remains incomplete. Okay. He does not brush his teeth regularly. Again, he is the subject. Brush. Now the word brush over here is not a noun. Okay. Brush, toothbrush is an object. Okay. So you should say that it can say that it is a noun. But in this sense, this brush is not a noun because it is trying to do an action. So a noun could be treated as a verb. So this would be, I got the idea, this could be some other lesson where I shall be dealing how, words interchange their places to become a verb, to a noun, to an adjective. That I shall be taking one of the classes. This is a verb, brush, and teeth is the object, of course. So this is your auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verb, as you have seen, that they are the sentences which help, they are the verbs which help the main verb to perform their action, to perform their activity. Without auxiliary verb, you will not be able to make out a proper sense. Now, assignment for the day. This was just a little bit about helping verbs, the auxiliary verbs and the main verb. Assignment for the day is, I gave you a list of 24 auxiliary verb. Now what you have to do with all those 24 auxiliary verb in your notebooks, you have to frame one sentence each. One could be anything. It could be an assertive, also known as declarative. The second could be imperative. It could be interrogative, or it could be exclamatory. So one sentence out of all those 24 helping verbs would be either assertive, declarative, or imperative, or interrogative, or exclamative. Totally your choice. I don't mind. And the second sentence would be the very negative of those sentences. For example, and don't pick up, class 6th and 7th standard level students. I can dance. Okay, you see, sir, can is the auxiliary verb. I made this word, I can dance, और उसका negative मैंने बना दिया, I cannot dance. No, please, realize that you are a senior class now, so make up sentences accordingly. Well, junior classes, those who are watching my video, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 8th, you do it as per your own requirement. Even primary classes do it as per your own requirement. That's totally fine. But since I'm focusing this video especially for the 9th standard, the 10th standard, so they have to be taking the responsibility, take the shoulders on, and make sure that the sentences, the kind of sentences they are going to make, they have to bear their identity of being 9th and 10th standard students. So total all in all, you have to frame 48 sentences. Don't worry, I'll give you ample of time. You have today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Till Sunday you complete it up. You have a lot of time available. Monday I shall be asking you for this assignment. So one sentence could be either assertive, declarative, imperative, interrogative, or exclamatory, and the second sentence would be the very negation of it. Okay, right? So this is your assignment. So with this, today's video comes to an end. All of you stay healthy, stay safe, stay at home, and stay quarantined. God bless you all.